No, that's not.
The Cultural Commission meeting for March 10th, 2024 is called to order at 5:30 p.m. Would Director Moreno please call roll?
Commissioner Tozer?
Here.
Commissioner Rudnicki? Here. Commissioner Einberg? Commissioner Damiano? Here. Commissioner DA?
Here.
Commissioner Chair Hernandez?
Here.
Commissioner Frazier?
Here.
We have a quorum. I move to have Commissioner Rudnicki's and Tozer's absences be excused. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Dozier is here.
He was absent.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm doing the previous. All in favor say aye. Aye. All against say nay. Motion passes. Are there any additions or removals to today's agenda? Seeing none, I move that we accept the agenda as is. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All against say nay. Motion passes. The minutes for today's meeting are currently available. We will vote on those in our next meeting. So we will move on because we're making good time today. Are there any staff announcements for today's meeting?
None for today. We do have some flyers up by the sign-in for the holy event. That's on March 22nd. So just a reminder that that's coming up, right?
I'm looking very forward to that and trying to find a shirt that will take the stain. Because I know
It's supposed to wear white.
yeah, wear white, and I gotta find a nice white shirt that can take a stain. Because that stuff stains. All right. Is there any public comment for today? Seeing none, we'll move on. First order of business, Cultural Commission bylaws discussions. So, what we have right now is that only a few of us have actually sent in our recommendations for what we want on the bylaws. So we don't really have a lot to vote on. My suggestion would be again, I don't like to kick this down the road, but definitely go through the bylaws, find out what are important to you, what options. Oh, Commissioner.
I submitted draft bylaws a week and a half ago.
No, I didn't see them.
I emailed them out to everyone.
Oh,
Double check.
I did not get anything.
I sent vague notes with
Yeah,
apologies
I
for
received
having no
yours.
objection, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why that.
Yeah, no, she did a whole write-up.
Is it stuck in drafts?
No, it's not in drafts either. What the?
Oh dear.
You watched me send it.
Do you have them now?
Yes, I do have them now.
Go ahead and send them now while we're on the Wi-Fi for the place. But what we'll do is for everyone else, go ahead and go through those bylaws and find the pieces of the other cities' bylaws that you like, why you like them, and then send that to staff. And what we'll do right now is I'd like to make a motion to direct staff to make a draft using those submissions so that they're ready at our next meeting, whenever that is.
Didn't we do that last time?
I believe so. Yeah, but we didn't receive any.
Yeah, we
Do you
didn't
want us
receive
to-
it.
So I guess do you want us
Yeah.
to move forward without any recommendations from the
No,
commission? and
we'll
just-
send, Chris did a lot of work, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm being told it can't connect to the server. So that's what happened to my email.
Always had problems with an email system.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you connected to the Wi-Fi here?
Good question.
Yeah, is there like a shared document or something I'm missing?
So a couple of meetings back, we gave some examples of, our planning commission bylaws, Kirkland's bylaws, and I can't remember the other one. So Cynthia and I will draft bylaws, and then you guys can just go through them, what fits, what doesn't, but I think the idea was for people to go through those and kind of get an idea of what they wanted to see in the bylaws and send staff recommendations. So we can just move forward and bring something.
Yeah, I will send these out as soon as. Yeah, your
I think-
message is waiting to be sent.
I think I was more of the mind of planning commission that set, felt like that was pretty good for.
Yeah, and I think
Keep it
at the last
consistent with the city,
meeting,
I think.
that's what we kind of decided as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of really specific stuff in the planning commission one to the planning commission. That makes it quite a bit longer. I really like the first one, and the second one had brevity.
Mhm.
But I hated their hated their absentee.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Oh, and now it works. I'm
Now it
getting a
works.
ton of messages.
Okay, so you'll get that email shortly. So that's one more. But yeah, if we can go through those, find out pieces that you want to put in, email them to staff. Staff will use that to create a draft of our bylaws. This way we finally will get everything taken care of. And
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
or we can just use crystals if
All I
it looks
had to,
good.
all I had to do was completely reboot. Ah,
Um,
well, that's annoying. Sorry.
okay,
It happens.
you put a lot of work into that, so yeah.
Did you send this to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which means I'll probably show up in my mail pretty soon.
I left some spaces blank because we hadn't discussed them, but the rest of it, I just wrote out, so we had a first draft to work off of.
Well, yeah. Some of the work has been done at this point. Thank you very much.
I didn't feel good putting all this stuff on staff again and again.
That's great, I have a baseline to work off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, awesome. Thank you very much.
Like, people
So
want
feel free to-
work off of this one, yeah.
Yeah, mark it up with comments, and I guess next time we'll vote on them.
Oh, no, I will not mark anyone's document after where I deleted a document.
Well, it's personal to your mail, so mark it up in ways that you feel.
Right.
So in that case, just everyone go ahead and go through those bylaws, including crystals. And send in what you think is important, how you think it's important, and then I'll shortly make a motion to direct staff to make a draft based on those submissions. Any discussions before we start doing? Oh, we got one person here. We gotta explain it all. Full house. Hey. So I'll let you get settled in before we repeat what we were just doing. Let me know when you're ready.
Go.
I'm sorry?
I said go for it.
Okay, so we're still working on the bylaws. What I'd like everyone who hasn't submitted anything in, and I'm not sure if you're one of those or not, is to go through the previous city's bylaws, find the stuff that you find important on there and why it's important to you and how you would either change it or push it through. Send that to staff. And we're going to have a motion here in a moment to have staff build a draft from our submissions. But I wanted to leave it open for discussion before I started doing that, just to make sure everything's clear on trying to get the bylaws taken care of.
And where are the bylaws? I want to make sure it's looking right.
No, I
So,
sent,
go ahead.
You sent them?
I sent them out a week ago Saturday, except apparently they got stuck in the mail server until I just now restarted Outlook. So you should have it now.
And those are Crystal's bylaws. There are also the other cities' bylaws that we're looking at too, and those are in the agendas from the previous meetings. But she did a ton of work, huh? So good start.
Thank you.
I mean, it was only like an hour and a half.
Any further discussion on this now that everyone's here and finally we have it all out on the table?
Just for my scheduling purposes, next meeting, 2 weeks hence.
We're gonna vote on that at the end of the, oh, that was something I needed to do about the agenda, add that vote to the agenda to find out when our next meeting's going to be.
You already did the thing where we're doing it once a month.
Unless we feel that we need to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to do a vote to see if we feel that we need to have 1 or 2 weeks.
Thank you.
So,
Maybe bring that up and.
I'm sorry, yeah, I can bring that up in good of the order. Yeah. I completely forgot about that. Oh, it's been a month. It's been a 2005. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to, make a motion to have staff create a draft using the submissions that we've put in of our bylaws for us to vote on or discuss at the next meeting. Do I have a second?
No, I actually had a counterpoint.
Go ahead.
I think we can all just mark up a common document and work off of those changes and vote on what we do and don't like next time.
Is that something you'd like to do?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Shall we use Crystal since it's already substantial?
We can give that
Yeah.
we can give that a start. So in that case, we're gonna change up my to-dos here, sorry.
To discuss that at the next meeting. Hopefully for action, right?
Yeah, hopefully vote on final,
On sending along.
So how are we gonna do this? Are we using yours as a first draft and then we're marking it up? Or are you sending it to staff, then we're sending stuff in for that to mark up?
Just added.
yeah, let's just leave comments in the Word document.
Okay,
And then we can discuss changes and options next time.
Okay,
Yes, this will be individual versions of the document, not a shared document with what.
okay, all right, all right then.
I don't know if it's sent to
And
share.
that'll give us a first draft,
It's
at
not set up
least.
to share.
Yeah, that will give us a first
Oh,
draft.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So we don't have to, gotcha.
So let's do that instead. What we'll do is we will take Crystal's start, adapt what we want on it, send it to staff who can then try to make it into a working first draft. Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Everyone, including staff?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, in that case,
And if we could get a deadline for when that needs to get to staff. That'd be great.
It all depends on if you do the meeting, well, let's do. So your next meeting would be March 24th, and if you decide to skip that one, it would be April 14th. Which would be good for staff because we have special events coming up, and if we do, we'll get a final on the works tonight, we'll have time to get that going, so.
okay.
April 14th would be good.
Is it okay that if we make a motion for, or not a motion for a deadline, but well. We'll make the deadline either the 17th for the 24th or let's say the 31st for the next one, and then just whichever meeting if we end up having one in 2 weeks, we just make sure to do it by the 17th.
Let's just say by next meeting.
By next meeting,
Well, but they need time.
Well, they
to-
need time to do it.
To compile.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to think of. A week before the next meeting sounds good. Does that sound good to everyone? That gives staff a week to figure out whenever that meeting may be.
And was there, I can't recall, it seems I have a vague memory of the DCC Cultural Commission bylaws originally from years ago. Where did I find it?
That was not in our. In our list.
Passed everywhere.
No, there was a Kirkland one. There was a, what was the
That
other
was
one?
our planning commission bylaws.
It was a planning commission, Kirkland, and one more. I can't remember.
I haven't seen the old DCC bylaws. Was there bylaws for the old DCC?
I think so.
I'm sure Tozer.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was.
Okay, I can do a little bit digging and.
I think
We have some.
they're in the binder that we got when we first started.
That's probably.
It's
In that
buried in
white
that big
binder,
white
that's right,
binder,
that's
so I
right.
remember seeing them there. So in that case, what we'll do is we'll make the deadline kind of ambiguous 1 week before our next meeting, and we'll figure out what our next meeting is going to be, probably going to be in. So we'll do it that way. All right, finally. Anything further before I start making motions? I'm gonna say no. Okay. In that case, what I'd like to do is make a motion to direct staff to create a draft using our submitted forms based off of Crystal Frazier's bylaw document by our next meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second. Do I have a second?
I'll look at it.
We'll call it seconded by Lissa because I interrupted her. It has been a 2020. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay. Motion passes. Awesome.
And in addendum to that, maybe you can take a peek at the old bylaws to see if we're missing anything that should be included. in the
Yeah.
revision.
Yeah, we have the time to do that, and you can put those submissions in as well.
And I just looked at my folder that I happen to have with me today, and it did not have the previous cultural commission bylaws. It had civil service regulations, and it had planning commission and city council bylaws.
We did get Kenmore's and I think Burian's.
Yeah, those
as
are in our-
examples.
Uh,
Yeah, in the
The
minute
agenda,
from, or the agenda
but
from
yeah, but
last.
initially, so we didn't,
We didn't get
No, previous cultural commission.
All right,
But
moving
maybe
on.
we could get those.
I can look for them and see if I
Okay.
can find them.
Thank
I
you.
can resend them to you. Or do you mean the
The
details?
previous
Okay.
Years.
cultural commission before this one.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Rainworks discussions. So we have on our paper, a list of the discussions that or the ideas that were sent in. It was just, however, myself and Commissioner Damian. So one of the things is I'd like to have everyone have a say in this. So what I actually would like to consider doing is what we did when we were making projects for the big biennial plan. Basically put up posters on the wall, put our ideas down, including so that the people who didn't put it weren't able to put in the ideas have their voices heard. And then we vote on it on a matrix style vote. The idea is not that we are voting for exactly what we're having. We're trying to prioritize because that way we don't know exactly how much all of these are going to cost, and we can just do the most prioritized one down to the least one. And wherever we run out of budget money, that's where we stop. Would you all be okay with that?
I would.
Yeah.
I do not believe I need a motion for that. I think we could just do it. Oh yes, Commissioner
Do
Invite.
we have a budget for how much we can spend on these? And how many we can?
I believe we do.
Our budget is 2,000.
Yeah,
And we know I think she said the chemicals are about 500 of that.
so the idea is that we're just gonna make these things until we run out of them. Yeah.
Question. So. I'm trying to understand the lay of the land here.
Sure.
So the idea is this chemical, we make the stencils and we send them down and we happy folks will go out there and roll that thing onto the stencils wherever we have it. So. Do they just sort of fade away after time? Cause you know, there's so many rains, and so we could actually put others, like we could have a list of things that could go back up again. Another fun party for all this.
Yeah.
And you'll roll more of that out there, you know, and just continually be adding these little rain messages. That's
Yeah.
how.
I believe Public Works staff is going to do the actual application. I have to go.
Trust them. I mean, it's an artisan. I'm just kidding.
Our crew is pretty artistic. I mean, they have some, yeah. Yeah, so the chemical fades after a while, so we would be able to do as many messages.
Okay.
Be fun, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think the idea was to have like a stencil party,
Yeah.
right, where commissioners would, it would open it up to volunteers and have people kind of create the stencils. Or we could order.
Right.
You're doing the
I guess
hopscotch.
in regards to the things,
That's done.
logistically,
It's the one
because
thing.
like when I use stencil,
Some of them didn't get on there because some of them post pictures, and that's why we're covering this, make sure everyone gets everything.
Yeah.
We should do the same with these, like, you know, spray, tacky spray it so it sits nicely. Oh, we'll let Public Works figure it out. Okay, so they'll be like, "Ooh, look at this."
Yeah, I think that's what we have to work on, figuring out how, the application process would work. I'm sure the Rainworks company has like suggestions on how to, a product. Okay.
Any further discussion?
Does this have to go on what glass?
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks.
They're gonna be on sidewalks, yeah.
So we can do maybe 8 spots or 20 spots.
I think the goal was to pick 10, if I remember.
Intentionally. And the actual chemical is pretty cheap for consumer amounts. So, the idea was that we could also provide some stencils for people that want it, like just here's a cricket thing, just use a cricket or whatever
Mhm.
to cut these out.
That's further down the road though.
Yeah.
How much is it?
For,
All that.
I don't know.
All right. Anything further, and we'll get started on a little workshop where we can get this all taken care of. All right, seeing nothing, let's go ahead and have some fun with this. Take off my record.
For starter kit and is.
You need any help with it?
Yeah.
You wanna talk down the list just one more?
Are you back there?
I mean, whatever, you know. Oh, I think.
I guess the question.
I think you might want to do one for locations and one for what for that.
Where the market?
Like everyone gets their own.
I thought we were getting everyone gets their own, around the corner there.
Sounds good, you know.
What do you think about ADHD?
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed after that last one.
Yeah, I was thinking like. Like that.
You know, we could do that. We could take our chemicals away.
So we're designing services now, is that?
All of those.
Well, we're talking about the things that we want to have. The dentist,
I mean, it's that thing.
We were talking about frogs and.
A lot.
yes, and I actually added to the frog idea because I want to see the whole life cycle.
Yeah.
I have done pre-cut on good idea.
Yeah,
The yellows are gonna work.
however, I don't see fun just frog because.
They also sell stencils for $20.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's going to be not just like whatever we want on the pencil, but also locations as well. Locations we would like them in.
Oh, there are lots of new signs.
Oh, not gonna do that.
Well, I like it. But I think you'd have to like.
Because, you know, you could like, what you could do. Well, you could finish the shore, you could lay it down.
There was studied.
Yeah. But, and then take the impact to the.
You're right, my kindergarten self again.
Okay, so on your post-it, you're gonna write your ideas for your rain works as well as locations.
Locations.
And then once everybody's done, everybody will get their dots and then we'll go around the room just like we did for the biennial.
Okay.
conference.
Okay.
There are a lot of new sidewalks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe some.
Oh, she put something over the river, the new
Yeah.
culvert they just put on
Oh,
Third.
that's seven.
It's beautiful over there.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
great.
thinking of
the
like the
initiative to
trolls,
put up
like in between the trolls, because how much time do you spend stuck, you know, on that bridge?
That would be a good place to do footprints, I think.
So that would, I like that better than what I really.
Is there a sidewalk on that bridge though?
No, it's, but it would be incredibly dangerous for someone to walk, but.
You don't wanna
can
be
see it.
too distracting.
Yeah, but your park's there.
I may steal some ideas.
I'm stealing one from their website.
Yeah.
I don't think they can stop us. I mean, legally, they could.
Cause really, I only had two ideas. There's.
How does one make the keyboard come up without a keyboard install?
Oh, usually you just click on the.
Yeah, usually you just. Yeah. That's a little frustrating.
I can safely assume that most of these ideas will end up on somebody else's piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna have a different kind of vote where if we wanted to do this,
Yeah.
we just vote on that.
Yeah.
But it was important, I wanted to make sure everyone got it.
Yes.
Word.
I actually need a map.
Is it just the 5 dots or are we doing as many as we want? Just the 5, okay.
I stole that one.
Five, just five.
Means we got.
Right, exactly. Choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
Hard work. Every hard work. I like that.
Wow.
Tons of fun. Staying busy.
Did you see, the new links that Julie submitted?
Uh-huh.
No,
Ah.
I think we should have a picture.
Mm.
I love it when the cultural commission devolves to kindergarten activity.
Mhm.
I love that.
Well, art time. Oh, very cool. Like
I think that's like, that's what we better like.
They're
that.
really
Very cool.
Yeah, so we picked them up.
Very neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So we'll be done with the other stuff pretty shortly.
That's very neat. I like that. Happy he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Where are those ones gonna go?
That's what Steve and I were talking about today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna check in some of these that she had, thought that she wanted that more.
Yeah. First time we put them all.
Yeah, I saw them.
Very much about,
I
separate them or how we want
Sure.
to flow into the story we were trying to tell and
Yeah.
not so much.
We get strictly.
It was a little silly.
Yeah, I think, he gave me recommendations, just on what he thought.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
Remember Michael's?
Oh, yeah. Great.
And then so. Oh, we have a. We have things?
think some of these votes get consolidated too.
That's what I was thinking.
Rita, I thought you had sent a list of locations. Did that not come through?
So volunteers came with locations.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess yeah, okay.
Yep, these were your, so these were your locations, various around town, this was the idea.
Okay. No, I thought I had a list of various around town. I think that was a separate email that I didn't send to you, but because I did like an extensive, you know, let's advertise. Somebody plug.
I've got nothing.
I'm sorry.
I did like a little sketch of
For
your
your
hopscotch.
No, I think send
It was
that.
Lisa's
Yeah.
suggestion, I just didn't do a sketch of
But
it.
if we need more.
Draft hopscotch, I'll vote for draft hopscotch.
Yeah. We might have to take some stickers. I've got one sticker left.
Oh,
I don't think I brought those notes with me this time.
Oh, it is up there.
Yep.
It's up there.
It's out there. I didn't bring those notes with me though.
Yeah, draft hopscotch.
Are we still like on film?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have draft hopscotch.
Love that.
I think this is.
I like the location suggestions. Cause they're a lot more specific. They're more specific than a lot of them.
I see.
It's, yeah, open,
Yeah,
open
yeah.
to interpretation.
This is the,
I mean, I see so many deer out there now. There's so many.
And, around Third Avenue and they just raise.
Yeah, like, yeah, down here.
was it you, Sean?
Well, you got your last in your.
I had the draft hopscotch.
They're giraffe footprints. The dinosaur wall, aren't they eat that? That part of the plan to keep the dinosaur walls in.
That's what I keep threatening to do just on my own
Yeah.
time. At Third and Stevens, there's an old couple that lives with their grandson. And he's got tons of dinosaur food, he leaves all over the retaining wall.
Got it, okay.
So I keep threatening to
Yeah, yeah.
expand that all the way down at Third Avenue.
Wonderful.
I keep meaning to just stop by Goodwill and get like, you know, those bags of secondhand
Why
like.
nothing too, for more dinos.
For what?
The why nothing route,
Oh,
for more dinos.
Be fun to have dogs near the dog park.
Yeah.
you're not a sidewalk near the dog park though.
Yeah, that's true. Just parking on it. And the Doherty. Instead. Not one.
There are too many good ones, you got?
That is the problem.
Yeah, lots of.
Yeah, I get my own, but I love them.
The thing is that none of these are on the table because we might just do it on a rotating basis and just choose another set.
You should vote for that one, Crystal. Vote for
I
it.
can't vote for my own.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
You don't
No,
vote.
I did.
I can't vote for my own.
Yeah. Unashamed. But it was all about community, so.
Yeah,
I'm staying on point.
I voted for my hopscotch.
I love that the hot sides of that. Oh, yeah.
I need to see that. I left it at home. I've been keeping all of my notes in my bag, and they're taking too much, so this time I left it at home.
Yeah, I wanna try.
But I can do it, even quick scan and send it around the group.
Yeah, but it used to come to me, I can't think of. Maybe I'll trade her now. They're very busy.
Gosh, yeah. We did that, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consolidate like the staff was, you're gonna trade.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I can do that, but also I'm probably gonna consolidate some, because like there's 2 votes for you belonging there. So like a vote for one, that's just.
No, really?
It's long, right?
Let me start tallying. I think everyone's voted at this time.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hard having you bed, just fine.
Now I have some big stuff, right?
switch.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put away your marker, Wendy?
Oh, sure, thank you.
There's
No, it's these hooks.
Oh, what's that? And that's like.
Yeah, that's close in by.
And then here is now.
Yeah, those doors.
Fascinating.
You better.
I'll make sure to wash my hair.
I don't think that one, I have now, I'm on.
Yeah, I just realized I'm not the best face here.
They're so slippery, these chairs. And I see you on the old bylaws. Yes.
Oh, lovely. Lovely, most fun, we do everything with compassion.
I didn't put where I wanted those, I thought the committee could decide
Oh. Okay.
for mine. You could put them for the bottom section.
As far as my vote goes, an animal or something print of any kind, anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do giraffe prints, just because it's kind of become like a gag.
Yeah, it's kind
But I kind of,
spread out.
yeah.
Yeah, everything's
Mhm.
on the spot.
Mhm. But also I really like the idea of doing a Sasquatch print or things like that here and there.
We looked at doing draft prints of the sidewalk, we built out on the main street, but they were just very plain with it. So it didn't-
Yeah, they just look
They're
like
kind of
those.
those ones
Yeah.
now.
So we didn't do.
I like the mythical animal prints and the native animal
Well,
prints too.
the problem is unicorn footprints look just like horse footprints.
Well, now
Yes.
you make them sparkly.
But yeah, the chicken footprints look nothing like actual chicken footprints. For folks, one
Actually,
thing, they're about 20 times the size.
but aside from that, they're basically the same thing.
Depends on what reality.
And there's 3 feet, so they walk weird.
So my next question is, because I had volunteered to let's do a party of stencil making. But I am traveling a bit, so when do you think we're gonna do this?
I would say as soon as you guys come up with your list, you could. We could arrange the pencil and for your time.
The advantage of the HTTP 404 error is that you can get that from the site for $20.
Oh.
It'd also be a gorilla framework opportunity.
Yeah, I've never cut stencils before, but I have been looking for an excuse to get an X tool.
Thing.
Well, I think like if you have a really good exact, for
Mhm.
your, silver thing, what I do is I spray the material to my paper that I drew on. And then just cut, you know.
Okay.
But you can draw directly. I use actually acetate. And I said sauce, but I guess you could use poster board. I just was wondering how the poster board would hold up without that wet, constant wet, you know?
Mhm.
That's a
Maybe,
good
maybe
idea.
with some kind of spray sealant.
You can do a spray sealant. On the poster board.
Could you send me a list of supplies for this stuff?
Yes.
Plus 100 for petrichor. Someone else knows what that is.
Everybody knows what petrichor means.
No idea.
Wait, really?
That's the thing, stencil will tell you what it is.
It's that great smell right after it rains.
It was appropriate for your library.
Not always, but yeah. And it's like, it's actually a fungus that lives in the soil that releases its spores. Like if it's been dry for a while and suddenly you get the rain and that smell and you're just like, oh, yeah.
Sounds like rain.
Yeah, that clean smell is actually fungus.
Yeah.
All right. Let me actually,
Ephemeral pleasure.
oh, that screen just disappeared. I hope
Last year was
hope
such a.
it's still actually there.
Pardon? Last year was an amazing year. I'm good.
Oh, it was gorgeous. Did you see the turkey tails growing all along Third?
Really?
Oh, they were gorgeous, like that big. There was an old log on Third and I want to say
So-
Third.
Community emojis. I'm sorry, I'm just. Community emojis got 4 votes, which is the most votes. The giraffe hopscotch got 4 votes. So we're definitely doing the giraffe hopscotch and the community emojis. With
Maybe emojis, smiling faces.
smiling faces.
But all different kind of shapes and.
There is actually a diagram of them all here. So we got that.
That, but you have a little visual.
With 3 votes, we have the "You Belong" / "You Matter" quotes, preferably at schools
Bus stops.
and bus stops.
Oh, yeah,
bus stops and schools. Is there another 3 voter here? Let's see one.
You said that one was 3.
That one was 3. With 2 votes after the storm, a rainbow. Bird tracks at the future bird statue locations.
Is that 2?
That's no, yeah, these are 2. Sorry about that. Playing in the puddles is 2. The "Come by our fruits" quote is 2. The quote "Be a friend in all weather" is also 2. Let me know when you're ready for the ones.
Yep.
Native animal footprints, sorry, has a 1.
Okay.
Petrichor definition is 1. Sasquatch tracks is 1. Dino tracks at the dino wall is 1. Fish is nice. I think fish are nice, but water is wet. That's got 1. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Preferably in front of the library, I believe.
I thought that was the school.
This is the school.
The high school.
Yeah, school, the high school. That got a 1. Flowers of the Valley got a 1. Stencil of a train got a 1. Stencils of mountains and rivers got a 1. "404 not found," or "Sun not found," got a 1. Fish Maturado got a 1.
I think it's maturation.
Oh, maturation. Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that. It looked like it said Maturado.
I like that.
It's like, I was gonna ask what that was. It's like some sort of coffee made out of fish. Fish maturation got a 1. Pluviophile definition got a 1. And finally, the frog lifestyle got a 1, or life cycle. I actually wrote down lifestyle on here.
Wrong lifestyle. Yeah.
It's totally.
I need more coffee. And that's everything. So at this point, we have our list of stuff. I don't know what else we need to do moving forward on this. Do we need to actually get this started or?
So next steps will be Diane's gonna send me the supplies needed to do the stencils, and then I'll coordinate with Diane for availability. I think you offered to host the stencil cutting party. Yeah, so I'll work with Commissioner Brodnicki on scheduling the stencil party.
So,
And then we'll order the framework stuff.
and so the idea is you want to get it launched as soon as possible out there.
Yeah, let's.
Sweet.
But it uses in the work.
Okay, so if I'm not in town at the time, surely our other commissioners can do this as well, right? Yeah, while I'm gone.
We'll do our
You can
best.
learn.
We'll do our best. We can figure it out.
You can face.
Commissioner Damian. Commissioner Damian.
So could we've talked about maybe making little kits for the public so they could get stencils. Maybe we could vote on what that one would be, or should we figure that one out at a later time?
What do you mean by kits?
Like little stencils and of the liquid, right? So that people can drop by City Hall and put little rainworks in front of their own house.
Ooh,
I think that's a later discussion.
Oh, I thought that was.
Director Moreno.
I would recommend we get through our project first and then see what budget we have left over to.
Oh, okay, got it.
So we might, maybe not have money left over to order extra of the spray, so I would prefer to make sure we get our work done first and then.
Gotcha.
I'd also want to be very careful with that because there's a possibility of mischief that could go on with that. Something on someone else's house that's gonna be there for 6 months. Yeah.
It's a great stormwater idea.
Yeah.
For stormwater public engagement. And stormwater has capacity grant.
Yeah.
Something like that next to all of the catch basins would not be a terrible idea, like saying this drains into this creek, this river.
Yeah, they have permanent ones.
Yeah.
Those, some of them could be a little fun.
Austin used to have ones that were painted on with reflective paint in front of every grate, which I thought was really kind of cool.
Yeah, and not just in the rain, which is better too.
Anything further at this point? No? All right, let's go on to new business then, which is the book bench. So for the book bench, essentially just what we need to boil down is how do we want to see about doing this? Do we want to contact vendors who would possibly donate the books or to build these things? Do we want, or sell us books? Do we want to take donations from the public of books that they don't want anymore to be made into these things? Or a call for artists to actually put these all together as well? So those are my ideas of what I would like to see for this, but I'm up for discussion. Commissioner Tozer.
I just wanted to see what you guys think. So the first one was made of actual books. You don't have to make it out of actual books. I mean, there is something neat to that.
I am a little itchy about destroying books.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, okay, yeah.
Plenty of
No, yeah. My only idea being that somebody might be able to simulate texture or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More in a more artistic fashion.
Yeah.
It might cost more than that. But I guess I want to understand what the group was.
And as someone who has always collected books because I love books, also there comes a point where there's just too many books.
Mhm.
I mean, I know that sounds insane to say, but there are really too many books. And I could donate a couple boxes of them.
Yeah, having worked in a library, every library's got boxes and boxes of old books that just aren't good to read anymore and are either too common or too pointless anymore to really preserve.
Mhm.
But that said, though, I think we should have good titles if we're. I mean, people have to look at it, right?
They're not gonna be reading while they're on the bench.
They'll see the title, right? And I think that's an important thing to consider when we're making that statement.
Commissioner Berdinky.
So the book bench, the original was extremely charming. I was just curious to know where these seated, right? So, Tozer's idea, about making something to memorialize that amazing book bench, it might be a good idea. Then placement could be anywhere, you know,
Or at a bus stop.
yeah, and then you could have a little place that talked about the original book bench, a little story to go with it.
I can't think of a better place for that to be other than outside the library. I mean, that's just tailor-made for that. And I think that if we do the book bench, it should be there. But I am up for any other ideas. We can even have a vote like we just did with the rain works, like prioritizing where we want to put it. And we just go with whoever has the most votes. But the library, I think, is the perfect place for this. I think the original was over here by the old bookstore too, which made sense, but now that it's a bike shop, wouldn't want to put it there.
Right.
So I think the library is amazing for it, unless y'all have other ideas.
Protected enough from weather. The library.
That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
I think there's an overhang, like at one point where the entrance is, it might be doable. I also think that the original book bench was like varnished or sealed.
I think it was.
I don't know.
That's it. We were just
Stuck together.
Oh, there it is, Director. No, there it is. right
that's.
Hey.
there.
So we have just spoken in depth about a waterproofing chemical.
Yeah. Oh, I really like that.
And it should work on this kind of bunch of books stuck together.
Could we expand this idea and maybe make a shelter out of books as well? I think that's incredibly poetic.
I think that is a next step
Yeah.
idea right now. Let's,
Director Murray.
Yeah, just as a reminder, the budget for this is $5,000.
Yeah, the bench is the start. If we want to build a shelter, that would probably be the next step. But the bench would definitely be the start.
I'm betting we could get most of the books on donation,
Mhm.
which leaves. I would guess that's a metal pipework frame under it, but I don't know for sure.
I think, isn't this over at Valley House?
So,
It's down at Mountain House. We could go and we could do a field trip down there and find out.
But like
or
pouring them out and using rebar makes the most sense, I think. Right?
So
Depends on how much weight we want to rate it for.
Well, it's gonna be a human.
Well, as a public piece, it definitely has to be very, very safe and solid
Mhm.
and comfortable.
is this?
It was not.
That was
That was not a comfortable
Right.
bench.
Is this something that we could actually have Public Works, like, build the framework for it? And then we put the books on it afterwards?
This might be something where we have to commission a local artisan. Because we have the budget.
Yeah, I can check in with Director Lenchevsky and see his feedback and if that's something that the crew is able to take on or not. And
It could be a tourist thing, you see, it's the Instagram worthy.
Yeah, it
They
is.
just want to take a picture of that.
Yeah,
And the books have to be
So-
the right size, they come up, down.
so in that case, another thing we can do is we can also do a call for artists. We can provide, if we can get the book donations, we can say, here are your books, can you build this? And do a call for artists for it. See how they could build it. And if we can keep it in budget, we'd have something from a local artist. My only thing is I would only want Public Works in on this just because we really want that reinforced. It's a safety issue if it's not. Functional art is fun, but it's also got to make sure we make it functional.
You know, another way to do it too would be to make it a lending library where we have lucite boxes, like small ones, several of them that can be opened. So that you can sit down and the books would be kind of like almost like a little free library,
Mhm.
but one that you could lounge upon.
You know what I was thinking?
Hmm.
It's the seat area, because I always say that's not comfortable. Could be like, as if you know you have your bookshelf, but you sit on it, and then the books are right there tucked in it.
And
So there's your lending library. If you know, for practical and feasible, yep.
Who would be responsible for carrying the books though?
Mm.
Like the upkeep of the books?
Yeah.
Where's the lending library?
Yeah.
But lending libraries are over town.
Free little libraries, yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
the-
just kind of happens.
Those are volunteer efforts though,
Yeah.
and we're making something official, so I
Yeah.
don't think we can.
Okay.
The only thing I could think of would that people who could handle that with King County Library System, but that's not something we can do, I don't think. That's the county.
We could have information written on one of the. Like the little sideboards there about how to make your own lending library.
Yeah. Yeah. How to make your own your own book bench.
How to make a little free library.
Right here, where the bike store is.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's kind of big.
Yeah, it was like well tucked in there, it's a low.
Yeah,
Also, I'm noticing that has wooden armrests on it too, so we've had someone work on
Yeah,
that.
to get caps, or compress it down, but I do wonder if like you can build a wood for the side and make it look like a book, it would help, it would give you a little more stability, but. And what's that like, is it acrylic, like the clear stuff that you can pour and then it cures
Like in
clear
a
as well, I wonder if we
pot
could
or
like encase it, throw it or something like that.
I think that's what the old book bench was it was sealed in something like that.
Not,
No,
not like that, I think it did have some kind of weatherproofing, but like I'm thinking like the whole thing's gonna block, you know.
yeah, yeah. like that
Usually
two-step
you're-
resin.
usually those have a limit to how deep you can pour it of 1 to 3 inches. That
Got
would
it.
be,
Yeah, that would
it'd be
real
something where
much.
we'd have to invert it and fill it
Got
up slowly over the course of, God, probably 2 weeks.
You know, the other thing too is we could,
I mean, we
Cut
could, we just
down.
need space.
we could cut down the books and just use the spines. Right, and like the spine and like 2 inches of it, and then it looks like the books, but it's not. Like writing papers hanging out the edge, and then it could all be encased in resin, right?
Who would do that though? Is that gonna be
It's a local
us?
artist thing.
Is that,
I mean,
is that going to be Public Works doing that? Is that gonna be an artist that we call for? Because if we're gonna do a call for artists, the artists are also gonna have their own ideas.
yeah. like-
Versus what we are telling them to do, they're gonna have their own ideas.
Yeah, in terms of supplies, like the books will be free.
Yeah.
Metal framework, whether it's pipes you screw together or rebar you weld together. Probably, I'd say $600 to $1,000 worth of supplies, and then the rest is gonna go towards paying an installation.
Commissioner Brady.
So here's my thoughts. One, I think having an artist, because, that's something that could go bad fast. Yeah. As far as making it aesthetically pleasing. So that would be one thing, and I guess within budget, an artist, it seems like, oh, I'm just gonna stack some books, but I think there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
I think there is too.
Yeah, and so I don't know if in budget we're gonna be really close, but then the other factor is it has to meet codes of public pieces that people will sit on, and you don't want a liability, so. There's a lot more going into that than I realize now, looking at it.
That's one of the reasons why I was considering like laying a foundation with Public Works, because they're gonna be able to build this code. But at the same time, we really want an artistic bent to this too, so we would want the artist to have it, we would also want the donated books. I think it can be done, but like I said, if we're gonna try to do this to code and we're gonna make it an actual sittable seat somewhere where we can be liable for it, we would want Public Works in on this.
So there needs to be more research. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think we do need to do research, see what Public Works can come up with, whether they want. Whether they could do the whole thing, or if we just wanted the framework plus art, an artist to work around that framework. Which is a way that we could do it, volunteers to do that, we're also gonna need donations from the books. So there's a lot of stuff we're having to do, so one of the things we might wanna do is just announce, we are gonna build something like this. We would like your books and like your ideas, and then we leave it to Public Works to build a foundation for it. And then we do a call for artists to build around that foundation.
We have a little announcement in the Duvall newsletter comes out.
We can do that.
Getting public works involved in here.
Oh, Steve's gonna be like.
We would have done it.
Well, once, Commissioner Ginn,
We absolutely need to be sure to tell them that, any books they provide will be destroyed in
yes,
some way.
yes. Again, I feel itchy about destroying books, but I mean, this is a book bench. They're gonna take one for their team. I do feel itchy about that, but at the same time, this is actually something that's gonna be good for the community, I think, because the original book bench was amazing. But yeah, we do need to let people know that when they're donating, the books will be destroyed or at least unreadable.
Should also probably highlight local authors and artists.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Think for what?
There
Have
are
all
some.
of us, do we all have books?
We're working on it.
You do, I think it's 3. Almost 1.
We want to make this out of role playing game books. I could probably donate the whole bench.
Actually be fun too, and then have little die accents.
Director Murray.
So just to make sure I'm understanding, moving forward, we're going to check in with Public Works to see if their schedule allows for building the framework for the book bench. And then we're also gonna put a call out for donated books.
For donated books.
Oh.
And also, I don't know if we want to do this just yet, but a call for artists.
Okay.
But
Possible.
we might want to wait until we get enough books for that before we move forward with that.
Oh, the
Commissioner.
books is gonna be these, right?
Commissioner Ryan.
I'm also wondering, are there any others like this around the community that we could talk to people and find out what their experience was, what it was?
Do we know the original creator?
Huh?
Do we know the original creator?
Danny or something.
It's been done. Good show.
No.
Yeah, I think it was just the bookshop owners.
Just he worked.
Oh, Denny Redmond,
Redmond.
yeah. Denny-
That's him like right on.
Yeah, you would know. When you.
So, I think our best thing to do at this point would be, yeah, to check in with Public Works, determine if they can make a framework for us. Put a call out for donated books with the caveat that they're going to be destroyed, but we're doing it to build a new book bench. And eventually, I don't think we should do this now until we have the books and we know what we have. Put out a call for artists on, here's the framework, here's the books, how do you want to do this? And see if someone's willing to do that. Director Martin,
Or you guys could do it.
we could do
I
it.
think we can do it.
We can do it.
You better engineer that hell off it, but.
We could do it, maybe get some volunteer artists to join. Something like that.
I think something like that's probably our best bet instead of.
I think I can strong arm some.
Get the community in on this.
I can contribute a drill press that could probably make short work of a couple 100 pounds of books.
Okay, so I'll check in with Public Works and report back at the next meeting.
All right,
And could you also ask them about the resin process? Because I think that would look gorgeous and it would be a lot more. And with resin, we can also mold it, right? So we can have little like seat areas, right?
Sort of, we have to build the mold that we want and
Yeah.
then.
now that's gonna cost, and all that's gonna eat into the budget for this.
Like great idea.
So yeah, let's go ahead and 3-step this. We'll check in with Public Works first. If Public Works can build the framework, we'll start looking for books and once we get the books, the 3rd step will be either us doing it or getting a local community member or local community artist, or just a community workshop of let's slam these books together, all of us get involved. And I think that would work out. So we'll do it in that 3-tier process. Oh, yeah.
And my dad might be willing to donate his great books and encyclopedias. Because he's so boring, he can't see his library anymore.
How did I feel to?
I know, right? Like, nobody's gonna want him, but he cannot imagine a world where people aren't gonna want, you know, these miles of books from my dad, I'm sorry. But they're beautiful.
People sound.
Right?
Put your books on this thing.
Alright.
I'm writing down all the produced rates. All right.
Or the communication.
I know you did.
You could have had, we moved it a couple times. Yeah.
We should build a piano. We used to have a piano.
Yeah.
And then we could swing it. We could put it up on a helicopter and drop it.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah, the piano downtown. for-
The ancestors will be proud.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, any further discussion on the book bench? No, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the final new business for today, which is poets and performers discussion. So we've got the new little area out front in Depot Park that's going to be built out for smaller performances. What kind of performances are we looking at for this? Would you all like to see? Director Moreno.
So just as a reminder, that budget for that is $1,000, and we're looking for if you all have any poets or performers that you'd like to see performing in that stage. And then just as a reminder, the Cultural Commission does fund the Duvall Poetry Group, which reads poetry. I believe it's every Wednesday at the Grange now. Or not every Wednesday, I'm sorry, it's like the first Wednesday of the month or something. I can get you the information. But yeah, so if we wanna maybe open it up to them or, yeah, what
I
do you
think
want
that's
that to look like?
Great idea. I think that's an absolutely great idea, Commissioner.
And also, the Duvall Foundation for the Arts is sponsoring. I'm looking for the minutes because I can't remember names or dates specifically, but, Rita probably found this too. An artist who's like a storyteller, and there's gonna be a storytelling event that starts in. I think maybe. The park right across the street here and goes down to the Grange. It's gonna involve Grange. We're paying good money for the Grange for a couple of hours. So, and that's, I think that's gonna be. In July. But so, just knowing that that event is upcoming too. Cool.
Is the $1,000, is that per performer?
I think
Per
that's the total.
performance, is that total? Okay, and I'm looking for how many slots, 4?
Well, on here it says one poet performer at Depot Park performing stage, so.
Was that? I seem to remember that there was multiple, like one per quarter or something like that, like each quarter.
Yes,
Yeah, so that it would be 1,000 for each of those per quarter.
Mhm.
Okay. Commissioner Bradley.
Since we have so many families in town with little children, how about one of those be like a performance for little kids, the cool puppet show?
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
I wanted to recommend Thistle Theater. They're a local puppet troupe.
What is it called?
Thistle Theater,
Thistle?
thistle, like the flower. But they do everything from children's storytime performances all the way up to like high-end Bunraku.
Ooh, that would not good. Japanese origami puppetry.
Or Valley.
Is it not origami? Oh, I thought it was. Tells you how much I know about Bunraku. I was looking at possibly some like local garage band kind of performances as well, something for, up and coming. Dare I say the next Nirvana shows up.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, it could happen, it could happen.
Yeah.
I think like a local garage band, a small band that can play to a park that small, doesn't have to be something for summer stage, something that would be too small for summer stage. But definitely needs to get out of mom and dad's garage, would be actually really cool.
Or like the established acts too, I hired, they're friends and I paid them. Honky Tonk Sweethearts, and it's just the two of them, and they bring their portable amps and instruments, and they can handle a stage sets.
There's a group that I'm a fan of, and I've actually worked with them, called like, they're based out of Whidbey Island, they play all over, they did the Snoqualmie. They did a Snoqualmie Centennial thing, Centennial Park show about 1.5 years ago.
Will they show up for $1,000?
That's a good question. I will see about contacting them. But Commissioner
It's a really good little band. That Art Bloom last year.
And local to the valley, and local to the, local to the valley, better ask. Now,
What about, battle of the bands for youth? Or like a team?
I would like
They
that
can
too.
do a battle of the bands, because they
that's a great idea.
never have a place to really play. And that'd be really cool to invite other schools to come play and do a battle of the bands.
My only concern with that would be how big is that gonna get? Cause I mean, if it's multiple schools and that one.
And if it does grow big and it's super successful, well, we'll know next.
Yeah. Good enough to record it, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of just split the.
Yeah.
The stipend between the groups, right?
Right.
Or just for promotion and organization.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then, and no, like, and free fees for the kids. They come, they play their song or two, depending on how many people get, and everybody gets to hear some local kids or other.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snoqualmie Battle of the Bands.
Another thing I think that would go really well with this, including with the older kids perhaps, the drama department. They do Hamlet, they do Macbeth, they do several of the other plays. Have them do a show in the park. Yeah, just get them out there and do one for them. I was always big on the Star Trek in the park thing, but that may be too big for this. But have something like, the local production of Hamlet, local production of one of Shakespeare's plays, or anything that the drama department's doing, Glass Menagerie, whatever they want to do. Have them do a showing for the public that's free to the public, but we still pay for it.
Tony Schuler could be involved in that conversation.
They did that did they do that last year at the DFA property, or was that in the park? Somebody did something,
Probably BPA. Duvall.
yeah, no, it was like. Might have been the theater, but it wasn't DFA.
That's actually really awesome. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5 different types of things you can put together. Anything further? Any other acts you would like to see out there? Any other ideas?
Well, as someone who has done performance artistry, I think that having space for performance artists is always nice. However, performance art doesn't always translate particularly well to the public. I just feel that it should be put on the list.
Performance art.
Yeah, it's called.
Yeah, that's things like, well, all kinds of things, but it's the weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
But
different.
I mean, the thing, it's the,
It makes you think.
There's a great song running through my head right now. Go watch Simple and Holly's performance art, and that is exactly what performance art is. Because they're making fun of performance art while actually doing performance art.
It's like Dadaism.
What I really need right now is a comedian, so.
You know what?
Comedian.
There are a lot of.
There's a lot.
yeah.
Everybody in Duvall thinks they're a comedian.
Yeah.
Watching better Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, we do have that the new improv group downstairs. Yeah, they could do improv in the park.
Sure, or we could do
As
like,
long as it anyway in the park.
it, as a corollary with Battle of the Bands, we could do like Battle of the Comics, where show us your best type 5.
Oh.
What was it, Battle of the?
Battle of the Comics.
Oh, comics.
Well, I don't know that we call it battle, but like just have, like a rapid fire, everybody gets a slot, you come up, you do your type 5, you're out of it.
Yeah, we'll call it hardcore.
Range has lots of that stuff now, lots of performances.
Really, Sean.
If you go to the improv group downstairs, I can talk with them. I would be interested in that. So I think that would actually be good, doing both your Battle of the Comics and having like an improv in the park. I think
Competition.
the Battle of the Comics probably would be.
Competition.
Yeah.
Okay, I think so.
Yeah, the Battle of Bands. We make it a competition, we need to think about how much of the budget we're setting aside for
Yeah.
Oh, right.
prize.
Oh, and then we could do like, 500 for first place,
Yeah.
300, 200, something like that.
That would be all of our $1,000.
And for performers doing
But maybe
something like
with
that,
The
we
battle
need
of the
to
bands.
provide amps and,
Yeah, we need to put some
we would have to spend some on rentals.
and promotion.
Mhm.
That said, we can always try and solicit donations from locals to make it happen.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, we can always say prizes provided by,
Okay,
and then
yeah,
water line.
it could be one of those things too, where we get like local businesses.
Yeah. To help out with that.
Someone has to do that work though. So
Yeah.
Yeah, do we want to assign somebody to talk to local businesses over the next month? See if we can scare up any interest?
we don't have anything concrete yet.
Yeah, we wanna, we'll wait until we get a little bit more into it, but we will probably wanna get moving on this because
Yeah.
prime time for this is gonna be summer.
Yeah, I think because that's gonna take planning. And we mentioned, I think Cynthia mentioned this is one per quarter.
Right.
So let's think about something to do for spring quarter and then start planning now
Yeah.
for the Battle of the Bands in the summer.
Sweet.
Can you confirm the budget, is it 1,000 per like occurrence? So we,
Says here,
and
yeah.
then the
1,000 per-
biennium is at 8 occurrences, so we're talking
Yeah.
about $8,000 total.
Yeah, it has it, let's see, 2025, 1,000, 2025.
I can't imagine they only gave us $125 per performance. It's like, well, we'll get a one-man band out there and hope for the best.
2,000 for 2025, 2,000 for 2026.
So not per quarter,
500 per.
Oh,
yeah, not per quarter.
So January through June is what she's got for
So
2025, yeah.
Ah,
There you go.
okay.
That's helpful.
So 500,
That is helpful.
But I think that.
2,000 a year in the biennium, or 4 occurrences.
One actually costs a little more and the other half may be a little less.
Right.
And if you do battle of the bands and you see here's prize money, that's the incentive for those young people like you show up and play.
On top of that, we're probably also gonna wanna break that down to like first place and second place too, in order so that it's not winner take all and they never wanna come back again.
Not making music anymore.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the reality.
All right, so what should be our to-dos on this? One of the things I can do, I personally can do myself, is talk to my band friends and see, not just them, but who else would be interested in the area. The downside is they're all on Whidbey Island, so I don't know the local bands, but they may know the local bands. Just say, hey, if you know anyone here, let us know. I get started on that.
I can research local bands.
Okay, great. So we'll do both.
We can always put flyers at schools as well.
Yeah, and also in the Duvall newsletter. That one's-
Does
Do you
anyone-
have a question?
I'm just trying to figure out what the direction for the packet is on this. It's quite a few opportunities, so it sounds like you're going with Battle of the Bands for your first. Is that what you've decided?
I think Battle of the Bands, oh, sorry. Yeah, I think we should wait until we have like one under our belts and maybe do Battle of the Bands in summer, maybe when people aren't,
Okay.
kids aren't in school. I don't know.
Do we have any idea what any of the others would cost? To just bring out, a storyteller or puppets or.
So that's something that I could do before the next meeting is research kid performers, the Thistle Theater. I don't know about local garage bands, but, if Wendy wants to speak to DFA.
Yeah.
What I was thinking here on my end, I've been writing down who's offered what. Specifically like right here, Commissioner Damiano talked about performance art. Maybe talking to some of your people, see if they'd be interested in that with if you know any other performance artists. I'm willing to do the local, some of the local bands that I know. Commissioner Einberg wants to do that, but there's also Battle of the Bands, which was done by Commissioner Rudnicki. If you know some bands that you could connect through, or if that's like high school or through the schools or through however you want to do that. Crystal and Commissioner Frazier and Commissioner Einberg can take a look at like this whole theater folk type stuff.
I mean.
More of the like, the kids one like. What?
Oh, Rita just said she could skip it, or change
Yeah.
it now.
In other words, whatever staff can't do, maybe we have a computer.
So I have Commissioner Tozer, Commissioner Rudnicki doing schools and
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Damiano is doing performances or performative art. Commissioner Einberg is doing
Local band.
Local bands in the valley.
and then Sheriff Hernandez is doing,
I can do local bands outside the valley, but I can also do the Battle of the Comics and the improv, because I know the folks who run the new improv group downstairs.
Yeah, just look at the improv for now.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on like
On
the
the battle
comedy
stuff.
competition until we know what we're doing, but
I'm like, yeah, how much time do we have? And how many butts we need to fill?
sounds like.
so this is one poet/performer at Depot Park Performance Stage, $1,000. The timeline is January through June, so anytime between January and June is when you can have your first performer perform. So if we, for example, if we got someone to come out and do a kid's performance, which was, I think, the first idea. Or if you have some comics that wanna come out and do a showcase, that would be your performance, or if you have somebody who wants to come do performance art. And then July through December is your second performer. That could be out there. And then January through June again of 2026, and then July through December again in 2026. Yeah, 2 a year.
2 a year,
That's it.
very-
So you guys have a ton of ideas. So if you want to get the first year, you know, of doing your, you know, one performer and then the next, and then shoot for summer 2026 to do a cool battle of the bands
Mhm.
for teens, just because then it will have some kind of traction.
Yeah.
People will be familiar with the event. They'll know like, oh, they did this cool thing last summer. This summer we're gonna do battle of the bands.
Yeah.
So just building that recognition.
Commissioner Robbie.
Yeah, so does it say, like, does it have any guidelines as to time or place? Because something I'm thinking that we might want to like, or not place. we know
I know.
place, but like the time, does it have to be on a weekend?
No.
Because it would be wonderful to get this little stage area some kind of more exposure to just make it known that, oh, hey, you know, you can come and just do a reading of whatever every Thursday, you know, from 4 to 6.
Well, that-
And just kind of make it known, no like payment or anything, but just so people can start getting used to going to the space.
Oh, what were those used to be called? Like soapboxes, like something corners. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think we'd need to talk to at least the police department
Yeah.
and make sure there's somebody on site for when that happens.
Yeah, on top of that, we would want to possibly make a booking system of like, yeah, it's free, but we're gonna have to. You're going to be here from this time to this time, and like, okay. All right, Director Brennan, maybe we should move everything, because I always look over here.
I just wanted to bring up that I believe buskers went to city council.
Yeah.
And it didn't pass.
Yeah.
So that sounds.
Yeah,
This sounds kind of busted, yeah.
Which,
we were there for it. It was.
it's like
frustrating.
performer, so I pay police marketing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have your scheduled spot, your time, you sign up. So somebody brought that, I believe Cynthia presented it to city council and it did not pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
We were there for that meeting, yeah. I
we were
forgot
there.
about
They were
that.
worried it would attract the wrong element.
No.
Mhm.
Because here's the thing, is that you're gonna have this stage and every little kid is gonna get up there and twirl around, look at me. Like, so, oh.
Nope, that's illegal now.
There's nothing stopping them from doing that.
I imagine it can be revisited,
Yeah,
especially once we have dedicated space.
there you go. Sorry.
That's all right.
In fact, I imagine an enthusiastic citizen could probably bring a petition.
So
Kind of outside the scope.
It
of-
sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're going to be doing
We're a little bit outside of that.
stencils next month. Or in March.
Yeah, so Diane will send the supply list for the stencils, and as soon as we can get everything in, then I'll work with Diane to schedule. Stencil part for,
So it would be in April.
I mean,
Okay, cool. Okay, and then we're going to be doing the reader or the storyteller.
that's.
We're figuring out.
We're figuring out what we want to do. My suggestion would be for us to reach out to the people that we know and have staff get back to us for most everything else. And then we decide where we want to go with that. Cause I mean, I can talk to a bunch of bands. How many of them are gonna say yes?
Okay,
So we don't want to actually like start saying, we're gonna have a band this January or for June. And then we come up with everyone saying, no, I'm sorry, Duvall's too far out of the way.
Yeah, but also if we don't have a date and time, like any booking with anybody, they're gonna be like, yeah. let me
We're
put
not
this schedule
suggesting-
down.
We're not booking yet, we're getting
No,
estimates.
We're getting estimates. We're seeing if there's interest.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
We're reaching out to say, hey, how much would it cost to do a weekend performance here in Duvall?
Here.
Anytime in the next 4 months.
I mean, I would say May,
Okay, yeah.
if you wanna give them a date.
Okay,
Nice month. Not too hot.
Late May probably. My worry is that it's gonna rain
Yeah.
yeah.
in May.
No.
That's any given week.
Well, I think it's gonna be covered.
Oh.
At least
The
the
audience
stage is
number?
gonna be covered. The audience
Yeah.
might not be covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is getting an audience. Especially for something that's not, attached to any specific sort of festival or anything.
Yeah, that's true. Anything further?
To work on between now and July.
Yeah, well, let's see, so May, I mean, you could kind of tie it, in May, we're doing May 10th is to show your pride.
Mhm.
Where people will come here to work on artwork, and then May 16th through June 13th. The artwork is gonna be here, so I mean,
We could kind of tie it all together.
right into that, or the week of May 18th through 24th is gonna be Public Works Week. Where we're gonna have, one on May 19th, we're gonna have activities at the wastewater treatment plant. There's gonna be a ribbon cutting at the culvert, and then there's going to be some educational things going on at Big Rock. May 21st is gonna be a touch a truck event, so May 21st would be out for using that space. So if you're wanting to, when there's going to be people around.
Actually, I think the public works bit would be actually really cool because they're the ones who are putting this stage together, would be part of that, which I think would be really good. Let's go ahead and talk to the people, see who's interested, who'll bite. And again, we don't have dates or anything. It's just like, ideas to see who would be interested in this and then just work it from there. Excellent.
When they do interest.
Excellente. Right. Anything further? Yeah, I'm liking this one. All right, so does anyone have anything for the good of the order for this evening?
Oh, March of the Vegetables is coming up.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the last Saturday? I know it's coming up soon,
Tell you.
March.
Last Saturday in March?
I think it's beginning of April.
No, it's
No,
like
March.
March 29th or something.
I will look it up.
I have it on my calendar.
Cause I did the Lantern Festival for the very first time this year and it's lovely.
Yeah.
And now I wanna see Goofy. And that's what March of the Vegetables is, and I wanna see that. I don't have a costume for it. But I'm sure I can wear a salad or something.
That's funny.
Most people are wearing salads to begin with, so
How do you wear that?
very carefully.
Then the March of the Vegetables?
Hmm?
You haven't been to the March of the Vegetables?
I have not. Before I got involved with the Cultural Commission, I was a shut-in. But no, I saw a video of it the other day, because I sent it to a friend who was talking about local festivals. And it looked like a blast. It looks like it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, and that's the thing, the spirit of silly. We need more silly in our lives, so I'm actually gonna head off to that. Anything else?
We're just touching this out on our
Yeah.
next meeting.
That's what I'm waiting for. I was wanting to make sure we got it all cleared up before that.
Yeah, the Friends of the Library is having a free class on March 15th at the library, so you can make a mask or wand to carry in the parade. And then the parade is actually March 29th.
March 29th. I do have an idea for the next Lantern Festival, and it's something that my mom used to make for Christmas. She would take our salad take-home canisters, the little plastic ones, put lights in them, stick a cardboard tube in it, and it was a lollipop. She would do. My mom does a lot of crafts. All right, if there's nothing further, I'll go ahead and we probably won't need to vote for our next meeting in 2 weeks if we all just agree that we want to do this in a month or
All here.
at the first Monday of next month. Second Monday, sorry.
What's
Second Monday.
the date on that?
14th?
I've said it about
It is
3,000 times, but boy, it's been 2020.
April, oh wait, we're in March.
Yeah, we're in March.
So April 14th would be the next meeting.
So do we all just want to come back on April 14th to follow that, or do you think there's anything that needs to be done in 2 weeks? Since we've already voted to do that, I don't think we need to make a motion or anything, so we'll just show up here second Monday of April.
Sounds good.
Sweet.
Which is the 12th.
And deadline is 1 week prior.
1 week prior to make sure that they have plenty of time.
Oh, I'm on May.
All right, well, in that case, the cultural commission meeting for March 10th is adjourned and this thing is covering up my clock. 7:01. Thanks for coming by.